Good morning, good morning, good morning. I have a sense that everyone is quite excited today. Yeah, I mean, my email folder is quite full, which is a good thing. I love that. Wait, hold on one second. There's a screen behind the screen that is very loud. Okay. Hey, good morning, everyone. Woohoo, it's Friday. So it's funny, Brian, actually, as you say that, I remember a couple of weeks ago, I looked at my wife, I'm like, it's Friday, and she's excited. And I go, but what does that really mean? I'm going to work all day. We're both going to have a regular night. We both have work tomorrow. We're going to wake up at the same time, and we're going to actually do everything except our son doesn't have school. So we're going to have to do everything a little bit extra. And she goes, why would you say that? What is with you ruining your Friday? And I was like, it just seemed like the right thing to do, although it wasn't. There's something about it. Yep, I'm just excited. Um, it's funny. The last two Fridays, we've ordered Chinese food, and my wife really doesn't eat that type of food, and neither did I. But with as much as been going on with Rhino, by the time Friday night comes, I'm like, okay, I just want to kind of veg out, right? So we have different days. Like we have Pasta Thursday, we have Jersey Mike's. It's a sub place in Jersey on Wednesdays. So I was like, can we just have Chinese food Friday? She's like, absolutely not. I was like, but come on. She's like, absolutely not. But I'm hopeful we get Chinese food tonight. We'll see. So anyway, let's get to the good stuff. So I said yesterday on our live that I was considering doing a really what was the word I used? A really insanely low offer or very materially low offer, whatever the case may be. You see, here's what I'm faced with, right? Fingers crossed for Chinese. Yeah, I know, insanely low. So here's the thing that I'm faced with. I'm constantly moving us forward, right? Like, but it's not to be confused with, oh, I'm managing the shop, right? We're creating the shop. Everything that we're doing, we're creating. And as I was speaking to someone yesterday, I go, well, the uniqueness of when you're inventing something, I think I'm gonna sneeze. Excuse me. The uniqueness of when you're inventing something is that you, A, have to be able to identify a problem that others are able to or are not. That's not the difficult part, but it's part of it. Then you have to identify a solution, which by definition has never been identified before, or has been identified but never been accomplished before, right? Like that's the nature of invention. And when you identify this solution, that's, it's easier said than done, right? Yeah, I identified the solution. Well, no, because the fact that it's never been done before stands fair to reason that you're likely going to be wrong, right? Because everyone before you's been wrong, so why should you be right the first time? And the only way you could tell if you're wrong is by having zero pride and having absolute perception. So for instance, say we're looking to solve a big problem. We then identify a solution. We then go ahead and organize it, invest in it, hire along it, build the operations, the procedures. And as that's happening, you're not solving anything day one because you have to build it. You have to get the kinks out of it. You have to give it time to go. The problem is whether something is the correct solution or the incorrect solution, it presents the same exact way in the beginning. It presents with problems and kinks that you have to work out. So when do you get to the point that you recognize that the problems and kinks are not part of the path to solution, but instead structurally letting you know that you are on the path to failure? Well, at that point, you have to make that decision. You have to go ahead and look at everyone and say, okay, I know I've been talking about this, but this is not the correct path. You have to take a look at the people you hired, change course. You have to take a look at all the finances you spent and say, okay, well, we can't get that back. We have to go ahead and redeploy new finances and go ahead and fund ourselves for the better solution. Yeah, no, Renee, you're absolutely right. And in doing so, the only way that can really be accomplished is if the individual that's stewarding it, myself, is fully committed to navigating that path, which I've always been. Now, I've always been so in sacrifice, I guess, to finances. And that's not completely true. Like I don't mean to make it sound like the sky is falling, right? Like we could operate just fine and stay exactly the way we are for perpetuity. But that doesn't excite me. I want more. And I believe I could get more. I believe we could get more. So if it means that I am out here, then I'm okay with that, right? I definitely have no pride of myself. Like pride goeth before the fall. I will get it done. So the point being, that was exactly RHINOBUX. RHINOBUX was quite successful, Rhino Retirement. And after our pilot program, again, we realized that we were plateauing. Now, that doesn't mean we couldn't get new people, right? Like I need to go ahead and express that point, because we could have easily reinvested our income to go ahead and run ads for Rhino Retirement. We could have easily boosted the affiliate program and nudged everyone a little bit further to go ahead and get newcomers to Rhino Retirement, the weekly plan. We could have gone ahead and done a bazillion different things to marginally continue the growth of Rhino Retirement. But that would have been the wrong thing to do, because although it would have been successful, success is very relative. It's like when someone says that's the best president or the worst president. Well, you can't really make that determination because you don't know what anyone else would have done with that set of facts, right? So like, for instance, if you were planted into, I don't know, a kitchen somewhere, and there was a piece of meat, a filet mignon, right? And you go ahead and cook it to someone that's never had a filet mignon. There is a very good chance that the person eating it would say, wow, this is fantastic. This is the best steak. I can't imagine a steak better than this. Well, it's because they've never been presented the alternatives. It's like if you want to know about water, you don't ask a fish. Yeah, sure, they live in it, so they would know about it, but no, they don't have an alternative. They don't know anything other than water. Therefore, they can't give an opinion on water. And the point being, Rhino Retirement could have been successful for quite some time, but what is success? How is that relative? Well, if you don't know the alternative, you can't really determine it. So Rhino Retirement could have gone ahead and continued with, say, add 10 newcomers per week. The retention rate probably wouldn't have been as high as 86%, because the 86% was unique to those that were in Rhino Retirement because they've gotten a chance to know Rhino through the lifetime of Rhino. So we would have to pretend that variable doesn't exist. The newcomers would likely be at like a 60%, 50 to 60% retention. They likely would be highly highly motivated by profit because they don't know Rhino. They don't know the mission statement of Rhino, so they would have got in and got out and tested the market and added more selling, which conversely would have likely not allowed Rhino to rise as much as it could have, which would then maybe adversely affect the people that are in Rhino to say, okay, I've been in this for a long time, it's not really going anywhere, let me get out while the getting's good, and then who knows what could have happened. So the point being, I was unwilling to walk down that road, especially since I don't like saying smart enough. I remember someone wrote me an email, like, stop saying you're this, this, and this, it's unbecoming. And I agree, right? Like there's a certain amount of humbleness you must have, but at the same time, there's a certain amount of confidence you must have to share things that you're confident in. And I believe that I'm confident enough in knowing, well, what's a better choice, right? So we then decided, okay, we need to create some type of membership program to get everyone in, in a metropolis, in a centralized location. We do need to go ahead and offer and find a crafty way to offer all of our different premium offers, but not shove it down anyone's throat. We need to find a way that we can offer a value proposition that is like super duper duper, that people, are willing to participate in, unbeknownst and unrelated to who Rhino is. They're just there because they want to do it. And we need to do it in a format that allows the true value of Rhino, which is the community that we've been able to build, the relationships we're able to build, the ability to say, okay, we have the same goals, but we have a way of doing it. Does it make sense to you? Yes, let's do it together. How do we go ahead and share that with people? Well, there's only two ways to do it, right? A, you have to offer it, and B, you have to show it. So over a 21-day period of time, the value proposition that we're able to offer is by identifying within the economy that the advent of AI is creating a complete gold rush of employment. And the gold rush is completely immune to college education and the underwhelmingly uneducated population. College can't keep up with AI. AI just happened while college curriculum is in process. Maybe next semester they'll have something. Maybe in a year or two they'll have a really, really good program. But even still, the program will never be as good as what the company can offer because AI is machine learning. It improves every day. How can you have a college curriculum for something that improves every day? You can only have job training. You would have to be within a company that is actually the ones improving AI and having an ability to learn in an apprenticeship or an internship or an entry-level position to be something or be someone that can be valuable going forward. But you'd have to have a foundation of knowledge. So what the companies have been doing is they're offering their own curriculums, their own certifications to build that foundational knowledge, to build that motivation, and to identify a talent pool that nobody else is able to identify. For instance, if you go to Salesforce and you take their curriculums and you take their certifications, do you think they share that with Microsoft? Do you think they share that with Facebook and say, oh my God, guess what? Brian came to us, he's woefully qualified, he passed our certification, we're gonna hire him. But, we just wanted to let you know in case, you want to steal him from us. They would never do that. But conversely, are you obligated to work for Salesforce? No. You can take that knowledge and that certificate and go to Facebook and say, hey, I'm certified by Salesforce. Do you respect them? They're a big company, right? Well, this certification must mean something to you. So how can I get hired by you with this certification? And Facebook would probably say, well, now that we know you're qualified, we can go ahead and put you in this position, or if you take our certification, we can put you in this position. Therefore, it behooves Salesforce to say, anyone we bring through this certification, we need to hire them, and the way to hire them is let's give them a very high entry-level salary so that we can grab them, because the cost of not grabbing them is too high. Because you gotta remember, this technology is going to be it's going to displace 800 million jobs over the next 10 years. Therefore, if Salesforce said, all right, we'll start you at 80,000, well, that might not be enough. Facebook's going to be 100,000, let me go to them. Which means Salesforce would have done what? They would have provided free job training and free recruitment to other companies, which means Salesforce would have hired no one. Their other companies and competitors would have got stronger on their back. Can Salesforce compete? No. So what happens to Salesforce? The company goes down in market value. They lose share. The company becomes less valuable. Well, if a company loses, say, 10, 20 billion in market cap, is that more than the 20 or 30,000 extra they could have used to hire the individual to make sure that didn't happen? Yeah, it's a lot more. Meaning it's a lot more expensive to not get that person. Therefore, the entry-level positions are 100, 120,000 a year salaries. So what does that mean to Rhino? Well, duh. The curriculum's free. The certification is like 100, 200 bucks, depending on who's doing it. Not to us, but to the company. Duh. Because they have to make sure that you actually want to be there. You have to have skin in the game. It's like when you go on dates. A lot of guys will always pay the bill, and then wonder why after the 10th date the girl left. Well, she never had skin in the game. You were always taking her out. And when I started dating, I paid the bill, and then the girl that offered to pay the tip was the one that was a keeper because she wanted to be a part of it. The point of the story is that's the same thing with giving the $200 for a certification. You have skin in the game. You want to be a part of it. So if we're able to go ahead and secure those curriculums and actually devise a teaching method that is hands-on 2 to 3 hours every day for 21 days and hold you accountable and have the examination preparation, because we're going to take the test too and we're going to pass it, and then the job placement afterwards, is that a big value? Well, yeah. Well, also we're going to incorporate the healthy lifestyle, the meditation, the eating, the sleeping, all the other stuff, the hobbies, the family stuff, the mental health, everything else that is all encompassing on someone's life. Is that valuable? Well, yes. What does it cost us? $0. But it costs us time. Well, how much is time worth? Well, I do a lot of things. My time is worth a lot. And that's not, again, me patting myself on the back. Everyone on this call is completely dependent on Rhino's growth. Therefore, my time is important to everyone on this call. My time Do you know we send out 110,000 emails that get opened by 11,000 people every single day? My time is worth a lot to people. Therefore, when I go ahead and dedicate myself 100% time to something that we have that is working and that we are building that can become something far more larger, well, that's where my time needs to be. So I took a look at Rhino Hub, and what we're able to calculate and forecast is that within 6 weeks, the average revenue per member per week will be roughly $2.20. The annual retention rate of every member will be roughly 63.7, so 64%. Meaning if you start the year with 100 people, you'll end the year with 64 of those 100 people. Here's the kicker. The average cost per acquisition of a new member will be roughly 97 cents. What does that mean? That means for every member being worth $2.20, that member will go ahead and finance the addition of 2.5 new members. Meaning the value of what we built will already self-finance itself to grow 250% every single week. Because if you reinvest all of the money coming in to the acquisition of new members, 250% growth week on week. Now that sounds really too good to be true. How can that possibly be? Well, what are you inviting people in? What are you asking them for? You're saying, I want to do this for you. It's going to cost you nothing. Is this something that you would find to benefit your life? If so, come join. The individual's gonna say, yeah, why wouldn't I? Like, it's a complete everything that I need. How do I go ahead and do that? I'm not charging anyone anything. It's a free offer. Free offers usually have high acceptance rates. How every member becomes a contributing part of revenue is once they get in, they have the ability to purchase something from the store, they have the ability to participate in a premium offering, or they have the ability to say, listen, I don't really want to do any of that, but I see how many other people do that. Therefore, I would like to go ahead and be an agency owner. I would like to white label everything that you're doing. I would like to send everyone to you. You do all the work, just keep doing it, and I'll make all the money. Okay, we're okay with that. And why are we okay with that? Because everyone that comes in is a new member to RHINOBUX. Again, that's the name of the game. How do we get more participants in RHINOBUX? Because remember what RHINOBUX is. It's a weekly recurring investment that depletes the billion supply, that once that's depleted, everyone still has to purchase at market value by code and by coding, and they're purchasing from other people that own it. They're no longer purchasing from Rhino. The other people that own it are all owning it for the same exact reason. They want to own it because they believe it's going to go higher. So when you have automated buyers on a weekly basis in the tens and hundreds of thousands, willing to pay any price for that asset, RHINOBUX, and they're buying it from individuals that own it and are unwilling to sell it because they want to participate in the future as well, then you have a run-up of price where they say, okay, I'll give you $5, and I don't want 5. I'll give you 7, I don't want 7. I'll give you 10, I don't want 10. I'll give you 100, okay, fine, I'll take 100. Well, now what's the next bidder? It's obviously going to be higher than 100, 101, 102, 100, and that's how it works. It's completely financially engineered, completely. But the only way to stop it is for everyone to simultaneously sell their entire position and then opt out of Rhino. And for anyone to do that, you'd have to make the case that these 10,000 people are making too much money, they're too happy, they don't want it, they want to opt out and see, the sky fall. I just don't believe that's the case. And then when someone says, well, what's the value of, how is this value backed? Well, we always said it was backed by Rhino Street, which, by the way, is within Rhino Hub. So when somebody goes ahead and gets a position or makes an agency or something, hey, you want to list for free? They're going to, right? Now we finally have a bridge to Rhino Street that makes sense. But not only is Rhino Street the backing, but Rhino Hub is the backing. Yeah, we have this platform that goes ahead and does millions of dollars a year. This supports the coin, plus Rhino Street supports the coin. Now the coin is fully supported, so let it go as high as it wants. Well, the coin shouldn't be worth that much. Why? 800 million jobs are being displaced. We're doing job placements for every single one of them. Everyone is committed to us on a passion level, a loyalty level, a retention level, a likability. Everyone shares the same mission statement. Why is what we're doing not worth it? Well, I guess it is. The point of all of this is we are not there yet. In 6 weeks, we will be at those metrics at $2.20 to 97 cents per acquisition, blah, blah, blah. What it takes for us to get there is Anthony and his team working, as we've been doing 100% of the time. But obviously, I know our finances, and I'm completely cognizant that I am unable to work 100% of the time, because if I do, we'll go bankrupt. I need to actually pause working to either make different revenue opportunities or pause working to continue taking investor calls. And every investor call, let me tell you about my life. I am married with 2 kids under 16 months. I pick my son up every day at 4 o'clock. 6 o'clock we have dinner, 7 o'clock he has bath, 8 o'clock he goes down. My house does not allow me to have any type of volume, and I wake up at 4 or 5 in the morning, meaning that when my wife goes to sleep and she's like, hey, I haven't seen you all day, we just had kids for a little bit, do you want to spend an hour or two watching TV, puts us at 10 o'clock, what do I do then? She goes to sleep by herself and I sit there on the computer till 1 in the morning so I can wake up at 4 in the morning. The point being, I don't have single person time. It just doesn't exist in my life. I'm never going to tell my kids, hey, listen, daddy's working nonstop. I'll see you when you become 5 years old. Meaning the hour or two a day that I spend doing the stuff I just shared with you is a really, really important hour or two a day. So I finally just got kind of fed up with it. And I think I'm not sure if fed up is the right term, because there is a portion of me that's kind of angry. Because I'm not a paid employee of Rhino. I'm the steward of it. I do not get paid for any of this. Our agreement has always been, I'm going to steward this. I'm going to make sure everyone's investment is safe. I just need you to be a good partner that when we need the funding, you're there for me. And for the most part, everyone's always been like that. I don't have a bad word. We've been doing this for how long? And we've always been doing quite well. The coin is up, what, 106%? While we've purchased over $250,000 worth of coin in the last 4 months. Like, I think that's a big deal. I think, and I needed to say that in the email, every sale of coin, you got to remember, we're the ones purchasing it. Yes, the recurrings are the funds by the investors that come in for the purpose of purchasing it. But ultimately, I have to then go ahead and take that money and do it, which means I've always 100% of the time prioritized Rhino to the tune of $250,000 in the last 4 months. Because to me, the most important thing that I can ever do is make sure that everyone knows their investment will always be safe, because I will die before anything bad happens to it. So there is a certain level of anger where I'm like, okay, it's been 2 months. I'm like kind of out here hat in hand, like, guys, I need this. And it's, we've had 3 different people that have offered up to $400,000 collectively, and then things fell through. And that's life. Like, I'm never going to blame anyone. It's life happens. Everyone does something because they believe that the action they're doing is the best thing for them. Whether they're right or wrong, that's a different story, but they believe they're doing the right thing. So that's fine with me. So how do I go ahead and solve this? If I know that in 6 weeks from now, I'll never need money again, and that we could go ahead and actually start distributing investor coin, like we'll start being that profitable because we could reinvest in ourselves at 250% growth week over week. I could start giving coin out to everyone. If I know that that's where we're going to be, well, how valuable is investment to me today, right? If I know that's where we could be, or alternatively, we could take close to 14 weeks to get there if I still have to spend time doing investor calls and finding new revenue opportunities or downsizing hours or whatever I need to do to make sure that we're good. Do I want to get there in 6 weeks and never look back? Or do I want to cross my fingers that I can get there in 14 weeks? Well, how valuable is that to me? How valuable is that time difference? Well, it's very valuable. So the question then becomes, well, how do I go ahead and share that value with everyone? How do I go ahead and say, listen, it is that valuable to me, and you know what? If you act right now, I'm going to reward you. Well, I thought about it. Why don't I do $1 coin? Now, the reason I picked $1 was because we became public at $1. It was only 4 months ago. So it allows me the confidence to know that everyone is still profitable, right? Everyone that got in at the beginning is still profitable. And now $1 a coin is not a market price. It's not like the market price is $1. We're not lowering the market price. It's like a secondary offer, like it's a promotional offer. But at the same time, we're at $2.06. $1 coin is very tempting to buy it and then sell it the next day. So that would defeat the whole purpose. So everyone that gets involved will get $1 per coin. So if you do $10,000, you'll get 10,000 coins. And the coin will be delivered March 17th. Originally, I was going to do 3 weeks, and then 3 weeks is March 16th. And I'm like, well, March 17th is St. Patrick's Day. And St. Patrick's Day is Rhino Green. So, and it's a Friday. So why not, 1 day more, and we'll have like a party, right? Like I'll come out with like green clovers or something. I don't know. We'll do something fun. I'll eat corned beef and cabbage right here with you. So all the coin will be distributed that day, because at least over the course of the 3 weeks, everyone that purchases will say, okay, let's see the developments, let's see what's going on. And they'll have a time frame to say, okay, you know what, I was going to sell all of it, but I'll sell a quarter of it. I'll sell a tenth of it. I'm actually, I'm going to hold it. Like, things are going good. So it allows me the ability to make sure and do my best effort to go ahead and decrease the selling behavior of it at that day. Because if everyone sells all the coin that day, I'll have a problem again, right? But I know what we'll accomplish over the next 3 weeks. So if I'm able to go ahead and raise the funding today with this particular offer and solve our funding needs, then I can solve the next 3 weeks, which means everyone will take a look and everyone will be happy. Everyone will look back and say, that was a good offer, I'm happy I participated in it. And at the same time, if anyone's ever seen a chart of Rhino, there's one down bar, the day that we went ahead and released supply into the market to fortify it against all the selling that we believed would be coming. And honestly, I was looking at it the other day. Well, I look at it every day, right? But we've had a lot of selling over the last week. There's been 3 or 4 different individuals that's been hitting it for like 200, 300 a day. And it got me thinking, if that coin was still 250, 260, 270, oh my God, we would have never been able to go ahead and, well, I don't want to say never, but it would have been difficult. I don't think we would have been able to do it. And that would have been a surprise to the market. Oh my God, Rhino can't support this. Let me sell. But instead, because we fortified it and communicated why we were fortifying it, everyone said, okay, they did this for this. And very clearly, you can see people selling and Rhino's able to support it. So it goes ahead and decreases the fear, the anxiety in the market. That's my job. I need to go ahead and make sure that the market always understands what's going on and everyone always believes their investment's going to do well. And I will die before that's not the case. So Anna told me she came to bed last night and she bought a couple thousand of coin. Joe, you're the best. Yeah, actually I did see that. So let me see something. Is this it's such an ugly link. Hold on, let me see if I can find the link to, that link I just gave was from the email. So it might have a certain Salesforce nature to it, but let me see if I could just get the link real quick. And I have to run because I have a 10:30 call and then I have Rhino Hub at 11. View payment link, copy. Okay. Oh, so let me do this to everyone. I was doing host and panelist. Okay, if you haven't participated yet, that's the link. The maximum is 10,000. I really don't want anyone buying over 10,000. That's just too much for one person. And the minimum is 50 cents. Or maybe $50. No, I think I did 50 cents. Whatever the case may be, it is what it is. You can pick any dollar amount. No one's telling you what you need to do or what you have to do. In fact, don't do it at all if you don't want to. I remember I bartended for a little bit and one of the barmaids would be like, oh my God, this guy didn't leave me a tip. And I'm like, what do you care? That guy, I'm like, you have like 1,000 customers. Do the right thing and the others will go ahead and make up for it. So my point is, nobody's obligated to do anything. If nobody wants to do it, fine. It is what it is. But for those that actually see the opportunity, this is kind of like that moment. Enjoy your Chinese tonight. Yeah, I really would like to. All right, so let me go. I have a 10:30 call and I'm gonna try to post this as quickly as possible. I'm also gonna do one more email because it does close at 6 p.m. We're doing it for only 24 hours. So I think I'll do an email at 4 p.m., kind of give that last 2 hour warning. But seriously, just I laid it out to you. You're, I don't know what to say. It's like because I'm very weary of saying guarantees like that. You can't do that, especially in finances. But I will say that after this, I'm extra motivated to actually expedite the price of Rhino. Instead of it going up a cent per day, I would like it to be $5 by May, which means I think that comes out to like maybe 5 or 6 cents a day, because there is a certain show me, right? Like you're in a relationship with someone and they unexpectedly say, hey, listen, I need you to do this, but I promise I'll make it up to you, and you do it, then you're like, okay, well, let's see what you got. I personally feel a show me to this. So right after this is completed, I want to run it to $5 so that everyone that was a part of it can feel a certain sense of jubilation, like I made the right decision. And that's the feeling I want everyone to have. And especially punish the ones that didn't, right? Like the ones that didn't get involved. Oh man, I should have. It's up to $5 now. And I think that's healthy in a market that requires partnership going forward. So on that note, let me go. I love everyone. Seriously, get in if you can. If not, that's okay. And that's it. All right. Love you. Bye. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.